is time once again for another Chicago Bears pregame show right here on the Kenikka Sports channel. I am your host, the West Coast superfan, filling in on this Halloween Friday for Kenny Time, who's usually on this microphone right here. Yes, indeed. I know we look alike, but trust me, we're different people. The Bears are playing the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend, and we are going to be looking at the injury report heading into the matchup. The keys to victory from Kenny, that's me, not really, it's the West Coast superfan. And what do the poly markets have to say ahead of this matchup? But first, if this is your first time here, please do us a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please ring the bell for our mascot, Frexy. That's right. Look at that pooch. She is just adorable. You better be ringing the bell right now.
She loves it. And thank you.
That is my Halloween superfan impersonation. Welcome once again to another Chicago Bears pregame show. And let's get right into it with the injury report. Nika, man, I'm getting deja vu this week.
Really?
Yes, the Bears have once again are facing a team that has their quarterback on the injury report. Limited in practice on Thursday. We all know what happened last week. We were basically getting shown video on Friday morning of Lamar jogging around at practice. Next thing you know, it's like, yeah, he's going to play. He was a full participant. And then Saturday, it was like, actually, he was downgraded. He was not a full participant. And this is like a big NFL rules no-no, by the way. So we'll have to wait and see. The Ravens might be getting some fines, punishments of some kind issued out for last week. So having said that, the Bengals better be really careful today how they classify Joe Flacco heading into this matchup. The 40-year-old backup, by the way, Joe Flacco, who has a shoulder injury right now. He is filling in after being traded by the Browns to the Bengals for injured quarterback Joe Burrow. Tell me that's not confusing, everybody.
That is confusing.
Anyways, he was limited in practice on Thursday, but I did watch a little video on YouTube with a Bengals beat reporter this morning who said, by all intents and purposes, everything looked normal for Joe Flacco yesterday. They expect him to play. I think the team expects him to play right now. The Bears probably expect him to play. So we'll just have to wait and see, though, if there is another development today. And one of the things they did say is, like, after practicing yesterday, how does that shoulder respond today? Is there some stiffness and some soreness that is unexpected or anything like that? Wait and see.
Wait and see. He might not know till tomorrow. You know?
He might, yeah. And then if he has a full practice today, how does he respond to that on Saturday? Right. And it's just a little bit of a domino effect, and why a lot of these things are day to day in the NFL. You know, like, it's not about like how you feel now, like it's about how you feel after testing it out and playing on it again after being out for a minute.
Absolutely.
But anyways, yeah, so very similar situation for the Bears, and not necessarily knowing who's going to be under center for the opposing team this weekend. And nevertheless, I think the goals remain the same a lot. We'll talk about that in my keys to victory coming up soon. But in the meantime, the rest of the injury report for the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson is also not practicing right now with a hip injury. If he's not playing, that's a big loss for the Bengals. And one thing that's interesting about him is he's been a whisper and a rumor of trade all season long, even before the season started, because, like, you know, he held out. He wanted the Bengals to renegotiate his contract. They never caved in, and he finally came to practice like the Tuesday before the season started. I think he missed like all of preseason, and yeah, he basically didn't get his way.
But he's still under a contract.
He's under contract through the end of this year, yeah. And I think, you know, we could see him traded if the Bengals don't think that there's any hope of repairing that relationship long term and keeping him. Then they should trade him.
Absolutely. Look at what Rafael Devers situation.
Look at Ohtani. Look at the fact that the Angels never traded him, and they got nothing for him when he walked across the walked 40 minutes away to Dodger Stadium and started winning World Series rings and pennants. Yep. Anyways, okay, so let's turn it over to the Bears side of things. Luther Burden III is not practicing still. He got concussed last week. So he has not been practicing. I assume once he's lifted from concussion protocol, he could probably immediately go in. So I don't know if this is day-to-day with him or if they're just going to rule him out eventually for the game. But
what is the concussion protocol? Is it 7 or 10 days?
I think it's 6 or 7 days.
Okay.
So he might be able to play Sunday. I'm not sure.
Okay. It's a specific
Don't
number of
count on
days.
it with how safe they tend to play it with these injuries. Plus, he's young. He's a rookie. You don't want him to have a repeat incident, especially this year. All right. So, yeah, keep an eye on that for the Bears because they have some other receivers all banged up. You know, they're all limited in practice right now. They are practicing, which is good. I don't think if we know for sure if they are going to be game time decisions or if we'll just know more today. But probably a little bit of concern that, you know, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and Olamide Zaccheaus are feeling some bumps and bruises right now. And it just made me write a note down like you guys need to hit the weight room in the offseason and bulk up a little bit and maybe prepare your bodies a little differently for the Ben Johnson style of offense because he's expecting you guys to be blockers and work blocks on the edges. And, you know, you might need a little bit more physicality added to your frames going forward. So something to keep an eye on in the offseason, everybody. But for now, hopefully at least a couple of these guys are playing because Caleb needs some targets to throw to out there.
So, okay.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that going into Sunday's game. Now, the good news is that, like I said, all 3 out of those 4 were limited in practice with Luther Burden's concussion obviously being the sole outlier there. So hopefully they will all 3 play. On defense, Tyreek Stevenson is practicing full practice. So it looks like he is set to return Sunday after just missing 1 week.
Okay.
And I hope I say his name right. I practiced it a bunch of times before the show. I'm going to give it a go here. Amen Ogbagbimia. Yeah. Ogbagbimiga? I don't know. Amen This is going to be a funny bit to post, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amen Ogbagbimiga. I think that's right. Ogbagbimiga.
Sounds very African.
Ogbagbimiga. Amen Ogbagbimiga. Yeah, definitely African. I'm working on it.
That's a good last
But
name.
maybe by week 17 or 18, I'll be able to let it roll off the tongue. You know, the best way to do that, Amen, is to get in the game and make some havoc happen.
Then everybody has to learn your
He
name.
is our edge rusher, everybody, and we have not been getting sacks this year. We need to pick up our sacks game, so it's on you, Amen.
Cool. At least,
Ogbagbimiga.
well, his first name is easier to pronounce than the last name.
Hey, Nika, let's move on to Kenny's Keys to Victory.
Okay.
And yes, that is me, Kenny, the West Coast superfan, filling in on Halloween Friday. And we got a lot of repeats from last week. We are playing on the road against a sub-500 team who has a quarterback who's injured and may or may not play. The difference here is this is the backup 40-year-old quarterback and not the MVP of the league quarterback. And again, we are faced with a situation where it looks like on paper, the Bears should win this game. And, well, I said that last week too, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And we didn't win that game very much, did we? We lost by 2 touchdowns. Ugh.
They didn't listen to you.
Well, they didn't listen to my keys to the game.
I guess
they
not.
They ignored all of them, in fact.
They did.
So if they were not listening, they'll have a second chance to hear them again this week because they're virtually identical, everybody. They need to challenge Joe Flacco early in this game, Nika, if he plays.
Okay.
They need to test that shoulder. They need to figure out who they're playing against. Is this a guy that is going to be limited in his capacity to throw the ball, or are they going to... Is he fine? You know, like we need to figure out who we're playing against and
Test him out early.
figure out what the offensive game plan
Yes.
even is going to be for the Bengals going into this game. Like, are they going to just be mostly running the ball if they can't throw with the 40-year-old man who has a banged up shoulder? Definitely need to figure that out early because you don't want to be left guessing out there.
No.
You know?
So aggressive start to the game.
Aggressive start for the defense, you know, definitely want to force issues early. So for the Bears, on the other hand, I feel like this is a big game for our quarterback, number 18. If you missed it, Caleb got rung through the media this past week. He didn't necessarily light the world on fire last week. I don't think he played nearly as bad as people are making it out to be. My initial reaction after the game, however, was that if Caleb had played great last week, the Bears could have won that game. And that was a game where great quarterback play could have saved your team. Hopefully that's something he learns and develops as he matures in this league as something that he can do, you know, but you're not going to go out there and win every game 38-0. So you might need good, solid, great quarterback play to win some games for you, especially on the road.
Absolutely.
And so that's why, right again, you get another opportunity at it right here in a similar situation. The Bengals are the worst defense in the NFL, Nika. The worst.
So the chances for the Bears to win this game should be higher than the Ravens last
I mean,
week's game.
again, this is like all theoretical on paper kind of stuff. But when you look at their stats side by side, they give up 31.5 points per game as a defense. The Bears give up 26.4, and that's with a 52-point performance that they gave up against the Lions in week 2. So their numbers are half of that right now as a season average. Whereas the Bengals are 5 points more plus that they're giving up than the Bears this season on average. Now, when it comes to scoring, the Bears are scoring 24 points a game while the Bengals are scoring 22 points a game, 21.8. So again, when you look at just these basic numbers on paper, it seems to favor the Bears, right?
Yeah.
Also, we have a team that's giving up 400 yards in the Bengals per game on offense. I mean, that's a lot of yards. Our defense, by contrast, is giving up like less than about 350, 50 yards less per game. I mean, that's a lot of yards on the season. That adds up after 7 games now. So you're talking about a difference of 350 to 400 yards on the season more that the Bengals have given up than we have. So if there was ever a team where Caleb Williams could get right against, I feel like it's this game on the road, and you know that should be the goal this week, is to put him in a position to succeed and have a great game and shut some people up. Like, can we just not play the weekly roller coaster game? The best way to do that is to have a great game.
That's right.
And I think he's capable. I wanted him to do this last week. You know, now you get a second chance at it. So I'm having faith in you, Caleb. Now you got to come through for me, buddy. And I know he's capable. But the best way to do it is to score early in this game. The Bears need to score early touchdowns, not field goals like we settled for last week on the road, because you saw what happened. We played a great first quarter by all intents and purposes, but without those touchdowns, the Ravens, one drive changes the whole game. They're winning.
Yep.
So you have to score a touchdown early in this game, and you have to build a 2-possession lead, Nika. You can't just be a 1-possession game. You need to get that 2-score lead, and you need to keep adding to it and not let them catch you.
Again, that goes into aggressive
Easier said
play.
than done.
Yeah.
And yeah, Caleb, just go out there, play well, and quiet your critics a bit, you know?
That would be the best thing for him.
Yeah, start to take some of those easier throws that the defense is giving you. Take what the game gives you.
Yep.
And I promise the long game will open up. The tight end game will open. Everything will open up. They can't cover everybody out there. Find out who's open and adjust from there.
So that's 2. What's the third key?
Well, they need to take some pressure off of their team. The offense needs to take some pressure off the defense. They need to score more touchdowns early, get ahead. But most importantly, I think the Bears just need to take some pressure off themselves and stop committing so many penalties.
Thank you.
We've been having this weekly conversation, and it's just been getting worse. 9 penalties, 10 penalties, and then 11 last week in our last 3 games played.
Increasing.
Bad direction, folks. Bad direction. We need to start going down, and I think a drastic cut is needed. You know, we heard the Bears, there was whispers this week on social media that the Bears were doing some unorthodox things internally to try and clean this up.
Okay.
And there was some speculation that, you know, once upon a time, it was a lot more publicly known. Head coaches had the ability and the power to fine players for committing penalties.
Really?
And guess what, Nika? It's been known to have had a positive effect.
Oh, no shit.
So there's whispers that are the Bears threatening fines to clean up this situation.
So as the Bears organization is enforcing the penalties, or is the
Are they
coach?
giving Ben Johnson the power to
I would
fine
imagine.
the players? Yeah, I don't think that this has been confirmed, but I'll be
that's
very
the
curious
route-
to see the penalty totals after this game. And if it is like cleaned up, I might think that something different at least was done this past week than in weeks before.
It's like a ticket.
Kind of. Yeah. But it's one thing for the league to take away your money, but when your own coach does it,
It's
hurts.
different.
Hurts a little bit more. And
It's more personal.
if it's within his right to do it and he's got good reason for
Mm-hmm.
it, then that so be it. That's what it is. But I don't think like threatening, running after practice or whatever they've been doing is getting the job done.
No, that works in the high school area.
So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep it moving here. I'm really hoping to see the Bears commit less than 5 penalties in this game. 5 or less is what I'm hoping for.
That would be great.
That to me would be a huge improvement and show signs of maybe, just maybe, this team has what it takes to get to the playoffs this year.
Penalties, man.
But if they don't clean that up, I don't think they have much of a chance.
No, that's like walks in baseball.
Definitely. All right. Well, it is time to turn our attentions to the markets, everybody.
Uh-oh.
The poly markets, Nika. That's what we like to take a look at ahead of this game. And lo and behold, this is what we got. The Bears are favored against the Bengals as of right now, 57% to 43% in this game. So not the biggest of margins. Not like the Blue Jays are favored over the Dodgers right now in the World Series 2-1, but the Bears are favored.
Okay.
57 to 43%. I guess that would mean it's a pretty decent margin, but the point spreads you can see listed here 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of faith out there that this is going to be a blowout game by the Bears. It looks like most people expect it to be close. And whenever you're expected to be this close, I mean, within a touchdown, anything can happen, man.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. So I think that's why you're not seeing like the 60-40 or more split for the Bears. And, quite frankly, they haven't earned it the way their offense has played the last couple of weeks.
So you can assume it's 50-50.
Yes. It is actually 52 to 50 right now on the money at 2.5.
Okay.
And that means, that's less than a field goal.
Yeah.
So
a tough
that's
game.
real close. Yeah. Vegas has this close. The totals for the points in this game are listed at 48.5, 50.5. I'm sorry, 49.5, 50.5, 51.5, and 52.5, with the most 50-50 split being on 51.5. So that we have favored actually as the under for 54 cents to 48 cents for the over. So less than half of the people think it's going to be more than 52 points in this game. And that is the tightest race. It only gets a wider gap from there as far as 50-50 goes.
It'll be a close game.
I think it's going to be a close game for sure. I'm wondering, too, when I look at this, if the 57 to 43% tilt is a lot of hopeful Bears fans hoping when you look at the spread being 2.5 as the most common, that's less than a field goal. And it just makes me wonder who's tilting that to 57%, because it feels like it should be a little bit closer, right?
West Coast super fans.
Delusional idiots like him, huh? Oh, wait. Oops. Yeah, if you saw my predictions last week, you would know what I'm talking about, everybody. Anyways, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes over the 51.5, but I wouldn't bet it either. I would bet the under if it was me betting, but I'm not betting. I'm just providing information for you, the bettors. All right. Well, that is a look at the markets. And, we have actually one last thing that I wanted to mention on this week's pregame show, Nika.
Okay.
A player to watch, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, defensive back who the Bears actually signed this week as a free agent. He's been on 3 teams this year and cut by all of them. But before you understand what's going on, he's kind of a bad boy.
Okay.
He is a decent player. He actually was on the Eagles last year and won a Super Bowl with them.
So, as a bad boy, as what?
But he apparently doesn't get along well with others. And he's become a bit of a locker room cancer, or he's been known as that a little bit. He likes to run his mouth on the field. And I think the Bears are giving him a one-chance opportunity here, basically, from what I'm hearing from the beat reporters and other people on X. This sounds like they took a flyer on a guy who's known to have problems and basically brought him in with a head coach who's a bit stern, Ben Johnson, so far.
So it might work
and
out.
maybe he will say, like, we like you. This is a one-chance opportunity for you. Go do what you do best and keep your head down and shut the hell up. And
so they don't want
maybe
him.
find a home here.
Okay, so they don't want him to be mouthing off to other players, basically.
Correct. He also played for Dennis Allen for a couple years in New Orleans, so he knows his defense, and Dennis Allen knows him. So
That might work out.
he can kind of slide right in with not a lot of prep, hopefully.
Okay.
He probably has to learn the aesthetic language and know what the calls mean.
Sure.
But he does know the formations already in his assignments as long as he knows the play that was called.
And Ben Johnson might have a positive influence on him.
He could. So that would be a feather in his cap, actually,
Yeah.
to, you can rehabilitate guys with the Bears. All right, Nika. Well, having heard all of these things, the predictions for this week's game need to happen. And what do you think? I know last week did not go well, but we're back. We got to predict it.
Okay.
Any predictions for me before I give mine?
Okay. Bears win. It's going to be under 51.5.
Yes.
So I will maybe 2 touchdowns and a field goal for the Bears.
Oh, 17 points.
17. Yeah.
And so do you think the Bengals are going to score less than that?
Yes.
Oh.
They might score less. I will go maybe a touchdown and a field goal.
17-10.
Lower scoring game.
Okay. My prediction is Caleb will play good, not great.
Okay.
He will play good, though. He will have a 65% completion percentage and 2 touchdown passes, 260 yards in the air. So he doesn't get that 3 touchdown game or the 300 yards that everyone wants him to have like every week consistently. But he does play good, and he does silence some critics. Bears win. They get 2 field goals and 2 passing touchdowns. That is going to equal. Oh, and they get a rushing touchdown. I'm sorry. I forgot to write that one down. So Kyle Monungai is actually going to get that done.
Wow, you got so detailed.
I know. I made a nice
prediction.
prediction here.
Okay.
And that means that the Bears are going to come up with 27 points, and they are going to win 27-24. And if you notice, that equals 51 points, so it does not go over.
I see.
For the over. And the Bears will cover the 2.5 and win by 3.
Okay.
So they will win. They will get back in the win column. They will win their 5th game and go 5-3. If you remember, they started 4-2 last year. They started 4-2 this year. They went on to lose, 8 games in a row. It was awful. Madness. They finally won in the last week of the season at Green Bay, but we would like to see the 5th win a little bit earlier this year.
Oh, different coach.
Yes. So I think that's an important psychological win for the Bears to get here.
All right.
This is a team they should beat. Hopefully it's not as close as I'm predicting, but, it is a road game, so.
It's tough.
Yes,
on the road.
Indeed. All right. Well, thank you once again for joining us on another episode of the Chicago Bears pregame show. Right before we face the Bengals in Cincinnati, I am your host, the West Coast Superfan, signing off on this Halloween Friday. Enjoy the game, everybody, on Sunday.